Welcome to my channel Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 2 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The 1776-1976 United States half dollar, more commonly known as the bicentennial Kennedy half dollar, occupies a special place in modern American coinage history. Issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, it was part of a larger 3-coin bicentennial series that also included the quarter and the Eisenhower dollar. This was the first time in modern U.S. history that circulating coins bore dual dates 1776-1976 instead of a single year of issue. The coin celebrates the birth of the United States as an independent nation while continuing the popular Kennedy half-dollar series, first introduced in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Physically, the bicentennial half-dollar retains the standard specifications for the denomination at the time: a diameter of 30.61 millimeters, a thickness of 2.15 millimeters, and a total weight of 11.34 grams. The standard circulation strikes are composed of copper-nickel-clad metal. Outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin its silver-gray appearance. In addition to these standard issues, special collector versions were minted in 40% silver-clad composition, available in proof and uncirculated sets sold directly by the U.S. Mint. The 40% silver pieces weigh the same but have a more distinct silver hue and a different metallic ring when struck against a surface. The obverse of the coin continues to feature the familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts. Kennedy faces left with finely detailed hair, a clean-shaven face, and an expression conveying resolve and dignity. The obverse legend reads, "Liberty," at the top, "In God We Trust," split across the lower field, and the dual date, 1776-1976, beneath the truncation of Kennedy's neck. The dual date is unique to bicentennial issues and was used in place of the actual year of minting. This means that coins struck in both 1975 and 1976 carry the same dual date, making them indistinguishable by year without examining mint records. The reverse is where the most visible change occurs. For the bicentennial celebration, the U.S. Mint held a national design competition in 1973 inviting artists to create new reverses for the quarter, half dollar, and dollar coins. The winning design for the half dollar came from Seth G. Huntington, whose work depicts Independence Hall in Philadelphia, the historic building where the Second Continental Congress adopted the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The design shows the building's iconic clock tower with a clear proportional architectural rendering. The United States of America and half dollar encircle the top and bottom rims respectively. Above the building are the words 200 Years of Freedom, while to the left of the hall is the motto E Pluribus Unum, out of many one. Huntington's signature can be found in small lettering beneath the depiction of Independence Hall, though it is subtle and easily missed by the casual observer. Historically, the bicentennial coinage program was authorized by Public Law 93-127, passed in 1973, which allowed for these temporary reverse designs on circulating coins. The decision reflected a broader national mood of patriotism and historical reflection in the mid-1970s, when the United States celebrated not just its political independence but also its resilience through 2 centuries of growth, change, and conflict. These coins entered circulation in mid-1975 and continued until the end of 1976, after which the standard Kennedy half-dollar reverse depicting the presidential seal was reinstated. The 1976 bicentennial half-dollar was minted at 3 facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The San Francisco Mint produced both clad-proof coins and the special 40% silver-clad versions for collectors. Mintage totals were enormous for circulation strikes: over 234 million from Philadelphia and 287 million from Denver. San Francisco produced millions of proof coins, both clad and silver, making this one of the most widely distributed commemorative designs in U.S. coinage history. There are notable varieties for the bicentennial half-dollar, particularly the Type 1 and Type 2 reverses. The Type 1 reverse used on some early 1975 strikes features thicker lettering for United States of America and half dollar, while the Type 2 reverse introduced later has finer, sharper lettering. The Type 2 is generally more common, especially for coins dated from later in the production period. Proof and uncirculated collector versions exist in both types, and specialist collectors often seek both for a complete bicentennial set. The coin's role in circulation was limited even at the time of issue. By the mid-1970s, the Kennedy half-dollar had already seen a decline in everyday use due to its size, and because many people set them aside as keepsakes as a result, bicentennial halves tended to be hoarded soon after release, meaning that uncirculated examples are still relatively easy to find today. In contrast, heavily worn examples are less common simply because they didn't circulate long enough to acquire heavy wear before being removed from change. For collectors, the 1976 bicentennial half-dollar offers several avenues of interest. Standard copper-nickel circulation coins in high grade, proof strikes in both clad and 40% silver, and the special uncirculated 40% silver issues sold directly by the mint. While none of these are rare in absolute terms, coins graded in MS67 or higher by third-party grading services can command significant premiums due to the difficulty of finding truly flawless surfaces on such large coins. Proof coins with deep cameo contrast, DCAM, are particularly prized, especially from the San Francisco Mint. Culturally, the bicentennial half-dollar remains one of the most recognizable U.S. commemoratives, instantly identifiable by the dual date and Independence Hall reverse. It captures a moment in American history when national pride was expressed through coinage in a way that reached every pocket and cash register. For many Americans, these coins evoke memories of the bicentennial celebrations themselves: parades, fireworks, televised historical documentaries, and the widespread display of red, white, and blue. Even though more than 4 decades have passed since their release, bicentennial halves continue to appear in pocket change on rare occasions, often surprising younger generations unfamiliar with the design. Most, however, rest in coin jars, dresser drawers, and family keepsake boxes, having been saved as souvenirs of America's 200th birthday, and that sense the coin is as much a cultural artifact as a monetary instrument, linking the everyday lives of millions of people to the founding events of the United States. In conclusion, the 1776-1976 Kennedy bicentennial half-dollar is not just a piece of currency, but also a circulating monument to the American story. Its combination of modern presidential imagery, colonial-era architecture, and commemorative inscriptions makes it one of the most artistically and historically layered coins of the 20th century. While common in mintage, it holds enduring appeal for collectors, historians, and patriotic Americans alike. Whether encountered in copper-nickel circulation, strike, or as a gleaming silver proof, it remains a tangible link between the revolutionary past and the modern nation that emerged from it. Next. The 1871 United States $1 coin belongs to the seeded Liberty Silver Dollar series, a type first issued in 1840 and continuing until 1873. This series was an extension of the seeded Liberty design, originally created for smaller silver coins in 1836. The designer was Christian Gobrecht, the third chief engraver of the United States Mint, whose artistry gave America one of its most iconic 19th-century coinage portraits. The silver dollar was the largest silver denomination in circulation during the mid-19th century, carrying great economic, cultural, and political importance as the United States Q1 expanded both territorially and economically in the post-Civil War era. The 1871 issue is particularly significant because it was struck just 2 years before the denomination was suspended under the Coinage Act of 1873, which marked the beginning of what came to be called the Crime of 73. The obverse of the $1,871 features the seated Liberty design, which portrays Lady Liberty seated on a rock facing left, draped in a flowing classical gown. In her left hand she holds a pole topped with a liberty cap, a traditional symbol of freedom inherited from Roman times. Her right hand rests upon a striped shield marked with the word Liberty, indicating her role as the guardian of the nation's principles. The 13 stars of the original colonies encircle her above, and the date 1871 appears below her feet at the rim. The design is both neoclassical in style and deeply symbolic, reflecting America's growing self-confidence as a democratic republic. The reverse of the coin depicts a majestic American bald eagle standing proudly with outstretched wings in its right talon. The eagle grasps an olive branch, symbolizing peace, while in its left it clutches 3 arrows representing military readiness and defense. The legend United States of America curves along the top rim, while the denomination $1 is inscribed at the bottom above the eagle's head. The motto, "In God We Trust," appears on a small ribbon or scroll, having been added to the design in 1866 following public sentiment during and after the Civil War. The eagle on this coin is bold and imposing, underscoring the strength and determination of the nation during the Reconstruction era. The composition of the 1871 silver dollar was the traditional standard used for most U.S. silver coins of the era: 90% silver and 10% copper. This gave the coin a total weight of 26.73 grams and a diameter of 38.1 millimeters, 1.5 inches. The edge of the coin is reeded, a feature meant to prevent dishonest practices such as clipping or shaving off slivers of precious metal. The high silver content made this coin not only a medium of exchange but also a store of value, tying it directly to the broader debates over gold and silver currency that defined U.S. monetary policy in the 19th century. In terms of mintages, the 1871 seeded Liberty Dollar was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; San Francisco, S; and Carson City, CC. The Philadelphia issue saw the largest production with 981,021 coins minted, making it one of the most available dates in the seeded Liberty series. San Francisco produced 695,556 coins, also relatively plentiful for collectors. Carson City, however, struck only 1,376 coins, making the 1871 CC dollar one of the rarest and most desirable coins in the entire series. Because Carson City had only recently been established in 1870, its early issues are legendary among collectors, and the 1871 CC is a celebrated rarity commanding high values even in heavily circulated condition. The historical context of the 1871 silver dollar is deeply tied to the nation's economic struggles during Reconstruction. The United States faced challenges balancing its bimetallic monetary system, gold and silver, as the California and Nevada silver strikes dramatically increased silver production. Large silver coins such as the seeded Liberty Dollar often ended up being melted, exported, or hoarded, rather than circulating in everyday commerce as paper currency, and smaller coins were more convenient for daily transactions. The debate between gold and silver advocates foreshadowed the free silver movement of the late 19th century. By 1873, the denomination was discontinued altogether, replaced later by the trade dollar and eventually the Morgan dollar. Thus, the 1871 issue represents one of the final years of the seeded Liberty Dollar's regular coinage. From a collector's perspective, the 1871 silver dollar is considered one of the more accessible dates in the series. When it comes to Philadelphia and San Francisco issues, these coins are relatively available in circulated grades, though finding truly high-grade examples with strong strikes and attractive surfaces is challenging due to the large planchets and frequent bag marks. Mint state coins are highly prized, especially with full luster and minimal abrasions. The 1871 S issue is slightly scarcer in mint state, while the 1871 CC is extremely rare at any grade, making it a trophy coin for advanced collectors. Proof coins were also struck at the Philadelphia Mint, with around 960 proofs made primarily for collectors and presentation purposes. The design legacy of the seeded Liberty Dollar is profound. Christian Gobrecht's work became the foundation of U.S. silver coinage for nearly 4 decades, appearing not only on dollars but also on half-dimes, dimes, quarters, and half-dollars. The $1,871 carries this tradition forward, while also embodying the historical circumstances of its era. A nation recovering from civil war, asserting its unity, and debating the foundations of its monetary system. For collectors today, the coin is both a work of art and a piece of tangible history. In terms of value, common $1,871 from Philadelphia or San Francisco can sell for modest sums in lower circulated grades, but well-preserved examples quickly rise in price, especially in mint state. Proof examples command even higher premiums. The 1871 CC, however, is in a league of its own. Even a well-worn specimen can sell for tens of thousands of dollars, while high-grade examples reach 6 figures at auction, placing it among the most famous rarities in American coinage. Ultimately, the 1871 United States $1 coin stands as a bridge between 2 eras of American silver coinage. The age of seeded liberty and the coming era of the Morgan dollar. It is admired for its beauty, its symbolism, and its connection to the turbulent monetary and political history of 19th century America. Whether common Philadelphia issues or the exceedingly rare Carson City strikes, the 1871 silver dollar continues to captivate collectors as a true classic of U.S. numismatics. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.